Hello, I'm Steve Stops, part of Team Lumo, and today we'll be showing Lumo's cat. You'll notice normally I'm joined by the lovely Josh Matthews. He normally sits there, but he's not here today. He's sunning himself out in lovely Birmingham at EGX, looking at loads of cool new games. So unfortunately you've just got me today. I say unfortunately because Josh is the trained funny guy. Wow, I've noticed I've made probably a mistake with the choice of t-shirt. It looks kind of psychedelic. I guess a bit Team Lumo. I'll go with it. It kind of works for the game, I think. I guess that's why people on TV, they say never ever wear stripy t-shirts. I might wear this for all of our broadcasts now. That's kind of cool. Sorry. So yeah, we'll be showing Lumo's cat today. There we go, Lumo's cat. Question that someone asked me the other day. So I've been demoing the game recently on a 6 Plus. Mostly because 6 Plus has all of the pixels, so the game looks beautiful on it. Not it doesn't look beautiful on other devices, as I'm showing now, because one of the things people said is, yeah, that's fine, but the game looks really intricate and complicated, and how well does it play on a smaller screen? So today I'm going to be showing the game on our team's iPod Touch, which is a stunning device. Really like it. It feels a little bit too thin, you know, it's like tiny, but amazing, really portable, lovely little device. But a nice way of just showing the game on a different screen. My plan is to just go through, this is a brand new install of the game, so last time we just kind of dumped in halfway through the game and I'm showing you some of the levels. This time we're going to go through the tutorials, which will introduce the characters a little bit better. We can talk about the characters as we go through the game, and if you've got any questions, I'll try and spot them as they pop up on the chat. I'm not particularly good at multitasking, which is why I normally have Josh with me who does all that stuff, so it'll just be me trying to guess as best I can, so bear with me, and I hope you're going to find this interesting. So let's start. So we start with our little cat that we're going to look after. The cat is called Lumo's cat because it belongs to Lumo, but in this, once you start playing the game, you're basically looking after the cat for Lumo. Think of it as a kind of digital cat sitting. So I'm going to start by renaming the cat. I'm going to call the cat Peanut Butt. So peanut butter. So we limit the length of character names. I think it's about 11 or 12 characters, mostly so we can make sure it fits on all the screens. If you name the cat too long, peanut butter's quite a long name, then it just runs off the edge of the screen. I guess we could just let you do that, but it makes the game look kind of ugly, so we try and make the game look pretty. And one of our beta testers, Kooky Karen, she said her first ever cat was called Peanut Butter, so she tried to name the cat Peanut Butter and ended up with Peanut Butt. We kind of liked it, so we often in testing in the game name the cat Peanut Butt because we like it makes us laugh. As you'll see, there's a theme in most of this, that mostly we do stuff in a team that we think's funny. We have no idea if the rest of the world find our stuff funny, kooky or quirky. We've lived with Lumo's cat for a long while now, so we think it's a fairly straightforward, ordinary game. And then we start showing it to people, and people start saying things like, "Whoa, this game is mental." So maybe it's not as simple and straightforward as we think, but let us know what you think. So we have our little cat Peanut Butt, and first thing I need to do is feed the cat. So I start with just one bit of food, which is a dead mouse in a box, and I feed that to the cat, and that will keep the cat nice and content and happy for 5 minutes. And once the cat's nice and content and full of food, it's going to have a nice little cat nap. And when the cat goes to sleep, all of his friends don't go to sleep. All the evil mice wake up and try and keep him awake. So you start the game with just Long Tall Betty to play the game. So in come these evil mice with their little maracas. Lots of people say they don't look much like mice. They look more like rabbits. I don't know. In our universe, this is just what mice look like. So I have Long Tall Betty waiting in the wings, ready to protect the cat. I just tap her, drop her into the map, and I just drag her along to where the mice are, and she will coerce them into not not waking up the cat by beating them to death. We tend not to do violent games normally. It's something that we've always tried to do. Kumo Lumo was a cloud simulator and you rained on stuff. And we do these like happy, cheerful games. It's only recently we've really took a step back and looked at quite how violent the game is. So here Long Tall Betty goes with a big crowd. So you'll see her health depleted and now she's a goner. Recently been watching Rick and Morty, and in Rick and Morty, in the episode I watched last night, there were the Meeseeks, where they're little creatures where you press a button, they appear, they do a task for you, and as soon as the task's done, they vanish, and that's kind of what they want to do. They actually don't want to live, they don't want the pain of existence, they want to pop into life, do the little task, and then pop off again. If you've not watched Rick and Morty, you should watch it, and you should particularly watch the episode with the Meeseeks in. I think it's called Rick's Potion Number 9, something like that. It's amazing. But these, I digress, these characters are kind of the same. So they do their job, and then once they've done their job, they're gone. They're little transient beings. They don't have to deal with the pain of existence and the existential angst that comes with that. They just have their simple little job to do, which is look after the cat. So this guy, I drop them into the middle of the mice, and I just hold my screen. So a lot of people think you have to hold your screen on the character. You can do that, it works, as I've just shown, but I can actually put my finger anywhere on screen, and when the little timer completes, boom, it takes out loads of mice. So like, boom is cool. I can't. They're called Bobby Bismarck now. Originally we called them Boom all the way through, but Boomer was a bit of a dull name. So Bobby Bismarck. Bobby Bismarck's a bit of a theme for us. It's probably named. It's not named after the famous ship or Otto von Bismarck. It's named after a character we made up ages ago called Clive Bismarck, who in turn got his name from the Brewdog beer. I think if you're watching these podcasts, it may seem like drinking's probably a feature in all of them. I apologise. Don't do it. It's not good. Okay, so now I've unlocked a new character. Now I've unlocked our Doc Papadopoulos. So Dr. Pap is here. Sorry, my phone's binging, so I'm going to put it on silent. There you go. That will stop us being interrupted by my phone binging in the background. So yeah, Dr. Pap. Let me show you what Dr. Pap does in case you weren't there before. So you'll see my cat's now nice and full. He'll be full for the next 5 minutes. But yeah, I don't want my cat. I don't want to constantly be checking on my cat every 5 minutes. So if I put another bit of food in, keep him content for an hour. So that's probably better. And now I have Dr. Papadopoulos, who I can drop into the world. Again, the controls are the same. You drag to move the character there. Like I said before, we did have it tap to move. We found lots of people didn't like tap to move. There you go. And so Dr. Pat, pretty powerful. He's got a giant tentacle in a box. So he's quite fussy. He won't start attacking stuff until he's got to the point you want him to go to and settles down. When he does, he's very powerful indeed. Super useful character, will get you out lots of scrapes. So let me stop these mice attacking my cat. Oh, there's the last guy coming in, and off he goes, done. So these are tutorial levels, so they're pretty straightforward. It's really just to give players a chance to know, to get a sense of mechanics. We've got these really pretty stripy levels, mainly just so we had some feedback. Some of our other levels looked a little bit crazy. When I can drop in some other characters to help Dr. Papadopoulos out, so he's not all on his own. So what we wanted to do is have the early levels with a really nice distinctive theme that helps players concentrate and learn the mechanics before we go to our full-on arty craziness. So yeah, let's play one more. So now you see the third time I played a game. Now I filled the cat up for 5 hours, and if you want, you can just leave the game at that point. So you can play 3 levels. The cat goes from being starving hungry to nice and full. I think you can toddle off and get about your life and not have to worry about your cat until 5 hours later. Some people like to check in regularly and make sure the cat's completely full all the time. Other people don't mind their cat being hungry and will leave it for a couple of days before they come back. That's totally fine. We don't recommend that. If you're tasked with looking after Lumo's cat, we'd like you to keep him nicely fed and rested. And all that should mean is just playing the game twice a day, and that will keep your little cat happy. When we sent the game off for usability testing, we had the guys who came back with it said, what does hungry mean? What's the point of hungry? Ooh. And we said, well, it's, you don't want your cat to be hungry. You know, that's what hungry means. You try and keep your cat fed so it's not hungry. And I think people just overthink stuff in games. I think, you know, we all know what hungry means, right? If your cat's hungry, that's not good. If your cat's nice and full, it's good. So here we go. I put a bit of food in. So now I learn my last of my characters. So we have 5 characters you control in the game. So this is Ultra Janet. Ultra Janet's a healer. So you see she's near the cat. So the cat's flashing, and that means the cat's health is slowly incrementing back up. And my job on this level is to protect Ultra Janet while she looks after the cat. If anyone wonders why she's called Ultra Janet, we have an Ultra Janet in I think every game we've ever made. Although I'm struggling to think which one of the characters in Lumo Deliveries was an Ultra Janet. But we had, if you played Kumo Lumo, the volcano, one of the volcanoes in the game was called Ultra Janet. I think it was a volcano, or not one of the. Or it might be one of the little black clouds. I can't remember. You can ask Jogo when he talks through Kumo Lumo next Tuesday. So there we go. I've just got the last couple of little mice. So now we've taught the player, or you if you're playing, all of the mechanics of the game, then we can start actually exploring the difficulty in some of the other things in the game. So when we started making Lumo's cat, one of the things that Jonathan wanted to do, something he was really keen on in the game design, is allowing players to vary and choose their own difficulty level in the game. And sometimes that's because some types of players want the game to be easy, other types want the game to be hard, and we wanted the players to have a choice of that. Because we found when you balance a game in development, you can choose how easy and hard you make it depending on the style of game. And normally what you have to do is you work out who you think the game's going to be played by, and you take a guess and you pitch it there. And like we were talking about on Tuesday when we were talking about Paper Titans, sometimes you get it right for the audience, sometimes you get it wrong. We had quite a few people who found Paper Titans too easy. As we saw the other day, I definitely didn't find it too easy. But some people said they did, and that was one of the things they didn't like about the game. So with Lumo's cat, we thought we'd actually just give people the choice. We would let them decide how easy or hard they wanted to play the game. Actually, what I find is I like it because I change how easy or hard the game is depending on my mood. So if sometimes you want to be challenged and you want something that's really engrossing, so you can make the game really hard, and other times you just want something where you're just having fun and taking part in a nice gentle activity. And that's kind of what we've done with the game. So we have really 2 types of food. We have cheese and other stuff that cats eat. So cheese gives the cat nightmares, makes the game harder, and the other foods help the cat and make the game easier. We'll talk in detail about how that works, because you can actually do some really interesting things where you can create recipes of specific types of game style once you start to know how you want the game to be played. But for now, I'm going to put in 2 easy foods, and they multiply up. So 1 easy food will make the game a bit easier, 2 easy foods will make the game a bit easier still, and 3 easy foods will make the game a lot easier. What we found in giving the players, though, even when you make the game really easy, it can still be really stressful when you get to the actual levels. So let's start having a look at that. Okay, so you can see the stripes are starting to recede from the level. We're starting to see hints of the actual levels themselves bleeding through, and that means I'm coming to the end of the tutorial. In fact, I know that I've got 1 more level in the tutorial left to play. But what we try and do from this point onwards, now we've shown you the mechanics, we try and ramp up the difficulty and start to get it more exciting. And the way we ramp up the difficulty in this game is by putting lots and lots of mice on the screen, lots of enemies. So we try and put them under real pressure. In the later levels particularly, oh dear. Okay, so you can see if, and I've ended up being distracted, so I've been running about over there, and now I've got some mice hurting cat. But I think I've done it. I'm safe. Okay. So you see the mice coming in different waves, and we have some different types of mice who have different types of behaviours. Each of the little mice attacking have their own kind of little personalities. So we've made this game so it only runs on the latest iOS devices, on the Metal devices, and that's partly because of the aesthetics of the game. We really like to push the visuals, and we really like to do unusual things. So I don't know if you notice, if you look closely at the cat is a cosmic cat. Inside the cat you can see a whole other universe that's inside. That is a whole other universe. We actually render an entire other universe that exists elsewhere in another dimension into the cat. He's a true little cosmic beauty. But the main reason we're supporting the later devices is because it enabled us to do interesting things with the gameplay. We wanted a game where we can throw all of these enemies on screen at the cat all in one time, and create those emotions in the player. So we've been playing it a lot with people. In fact, next week we're going to go and play the game with loads of the guys at the art course at Warwick College. So the Warwick College art course is amazing. They do really phenomenal work, and they always have lovely students taking part in the course. And we're going to go over next week, and we're going to play Lumo's cat with a bunch of them and record a lot of their first impressions of the game, and hopefully share them on our YouTube channel. Thanks for whoever suggested we should have one. We've created one, and we're now starting to pump content on it, and that should be fun. But one of the things we've seen a lot from people's first reactions is utter panic in the middle of the game because of the amount of enemy mice we throw on screen, and that's something we wanted to do. It was something that Jonathan wanted all the way through the game design. He had this emotional journey that he wanted players to have, where they start off feeling really protective over the cat, and then they feel massively under pressure in the middle of the game, and then it will branch either one of two ways. You'll have your strategy down and you'll win, and then you feel incredible because the game is really difficult, or you'll make a mistake and the game will punish you for it. But you see, we're kind of nice in the way we punish people, mostly because I'm not very good at games, so I won't let us make games to punish me too much, because it makes me feel bad. But let's talk about that in a second. So I have a choice at this point. So my cat's full, so I can stop playing the game if I want, and he's going to be perfectly happy and content for the next 5 hours. But if I'm enjoying myself, I can still carry on playing. And you'll see, as I put in new foods, you get these little kind of happy little cat faces stars appear on. Hello, thank you for joining us. Yeah, nice to see you, Cool Water Kitty. Thank you. It's always nice to have people join us, so I'm not sat here talking on my own, which is a bit of a weird and sad existence. So thank you. So if I put in more food, you'll see it gives me more little cat faces, and these give me bonus points, so I can choose how much food I want to put in. I'm going to go for one bonus. Okay, this is my last of my tutorial levels, so I now need to get all of my characters into the game as quickly as possible, because now we do start ramping up the difficulty of the game. In come the mice, and I need to start defending myself, otherwise my mice are going to get in trouble. I'm going to put Ultra Janet next to the cat, so in case any of the mice get through. Okay, so, and I drop in some more of the characters. So you'll see the characters are on timers. So when I drop a character in, it's got a timer against it. So the ones that grayed out means I don't have any more of those in. We let you have 2 of each character type at most, and then we have timers on the characters to count down. That's kind of where the difficulty of the game is. So it kind of gives you some challenge, and sometimes you get yourself in trouble where lots of your defenders are dead, and you're kind of panicking and waiting for those timers to count down. And that's how we've balanced and designed the game to make that happen. But we also know that some people don't like that sense of panic and pressure, and you earn milk as you play the game. So if you suddenly decide you want to get the bomber, so I can spawn a bomber now, or I can wait, I'm going to spend 6 milk. Now you'll notice you normally earn about 100 milk a level, so 6 milk's nothing to spend on doing it. But we it's kind of like a cheat system. We feel like it's cheating. We personally feel like we're cheated if we if we pay to spawn characters. But we also know that some people just don't like feeling under pressure and panicked, so we give them the option. Okay, so I've now completed the main part of the tutorial, and now we're going to introduce the cat blanket. So Lumo's cat likes a beautiful blanket made up of all of their dreams. So our little cat here, Peanut Butt, look at little Peanut Butt. Look how happy he is. Been playing lots of easy levels, so of course he's happy. So little Peanut Butt here wants his blanket. So we work with Peanut Butt to make the blanket that's going to keep them happy. So I've played 6 levels. So I've earned 6 little pieces of paisley pattern that I can drop in to the blanket. I drop the little pieces of paisley pattern into my blanket, and it makes the little Peanut Butt happy. And now what we can see is, now as I put different foods into the cat, it will change the little paisley pattern that appears. So I can swap in and out different bits of food until I find a paisley pattern that I like. That one's quite cool. And then when I play a new level, so I get a choice now. I can replay levels that I've already played. So I can click on any of the previous paisley patterns, and it will give me the option to replay that level. And if I do that, it will replace the piece of paisley that's there with the new one, or I can choose to play a new level. So again, the new level is going to cost me milk. We give you loads of milk in the game. We don't have like crazy currencies like gems and stuff. We just have this single currency that you earn as you play the levels. You can buy it if you want, but you'll see. I'll play through this a lot. It won't ask me to spend any money. Going back to the thing that we were saying the other day, we believe that free-to-play games should be free-to-play, so you should be able to play and enjoy your game without having to spend money. So now you're seeing for the first time one of the live levels. So this is the forest level, and in come my. So the way the full levels work, you get this little bit of time in the beginning where the cat settles down and goes to sleep, and that's your chance to get your defenders ready and into position. And then after that, the carnage begins, and I'm not doing particularly well so far. Hopefully I can pull it back and not embarrass myself by losing an easy level so early into playing the game. Yeah, I don't know. I've got no idea what the about button for. Josh does all the clever stuff. I just come here and talk about the game. But yeah, we should. I'll have a look and see what that's about on the channels. It'd probably make a lot of sense for us to be able to tell people what we're about and what our channel's about and what we're doing. That would make a lot of sense. You can tell we're not very good at this stuff yet. Like the other day when someone said, "Hey, you guys haven't got a YouTube channel." It kind of makes sense when you've got something that's pretty and you want to show and people want to engage with. Okay, so I've earned a bit of cheese. Let's do a nightmare level. In fact, I'm going to replay the level that I just played so you can see the difference between the same level. So when you play a level as a nightmare, it visually changes. It looks a lot more intimidating. So we've got these tentacles wrapped around trees. We've got bats flying around. The music changes, and more importantly than both of those things, the level gets more difficult. So they're much more challenging, and you need to be better prepared and have a better strategy, which I don't really have on this level. You can see I've just not really thought about it, and that's the worst thing you can do. So as you saw earlier, Boomer's a really powerful character. Bobby Bismarck is kind of your link pin to defending in the game, and if you leave them too long like I did there, I was hoping to get a big set of mice around me so I can take a load of them with me, but I left it just a fraction too long, so I didn't have time to set off his timer, and then I've lost that. That's kind of put me in trouble, but I seem to be pulling it back a little bit. And these guys, like the big trolley guys, are much harder to kill. They will really make the level much more difficult. And so, but I think I'm just going to make it because I've got some characters now. Yeah, just about won it. Okay, that was a lot tougher, and that was just with one cheese. So each cheese that you feed the cat gives it deeper and deeper nightmares, and the depth of the nightmare will make the game more and more difficult. The little question mark down on the bottom bottom right hand corner, that shows you can go in and check at any time what the different foods do. So the mouse makes your cat friends your defenders. What the Chinese translators refer to as star people. We like that, so we'll probably change this at some point to the star people. But the star people do more damage. If you feed it a mouse, you get extra cat health, so the cat will sleep much deeper and won't be woken up as easily. Your cat friends respawn quicker, so the timers count down quicker if you feed worm. And Edam, which I just used, the enemies do more damage, it makes the game harder. And some of the others are things like the enemies have more health, or your cat will be easier to wake up. So they kind of work together, so you can choose different difficulty levels. I'm going to feed it a piece of catnip, and let's try a new level, see what we get. Okay, it's one of my favourite levels. These are pretty. So we have different environments, and then each environment has different layouts of enemies to make the game more or less challenging. And we have these kind of consistent themes, consistent enemies. So if I replay this level time and time again, the mice will come in the same waves and same patterns time and time again. And that's because we want you to be able to learn and adapt your strategy. So if you win, great, you win. But if you lose, you want to be able to learn and do better next time. And that's why we have these kind of wave patterns that come in that you can learn. Like I said the other day, it's very much like those games like Ikaruga and games like that, where if you want to learn how to be better at levels so you can pass it, or even more than that, if you want to be able to like ace the level and complete it really quickly, then you can learn the patterns and you can do that, or you can just play it and not worry about any of that. It's the thing we always try and do as a game is we choose whether you've got how deep you want to go in, and if you just enjoy playing, you can just play. It's a motto that Jonathan, the designer, says a lot: just let them play, let people play, let them have fun. So I've now won my favourite piece of paisley. I love that piece of cat paisley. So you'll see all the foods on timers again as well, which count down, and when the timers get to 0, it's free. This is mostly because we think of our game as think of it like a mini series. And the modern thing of doing mini series is that you release something all in one go, so people can watch the whole series in one sitting. And I'm a nightmare for that. I will literally. So a couple of weeks ago, when Narcos was released on Netflix, I sat one Saturday afternoon and watched all 12 episodes of Narcos back to back. Just watched the whole thing. And same with House of Cards. When House of Cards came out, after the weekend after it came out, I watched the whole thing back to back, all in one go. Whereas with Game of Thrones, it released it one episode a week when you're trying to watch it live. We think that's a nicer way of experiencing things. We think you appreciate it much more. It feels richer. You get excited about the next episode, and that's kind of what we want to do with the game. So the timers we have are there to stop people binging on the game too much. So you can see I've been sat here for half an hour or so and still playing the game. I've just got a load of milk, and even when I've used up all of my food, I can tap on any of these, so it'll cost me. So I've got 796 milk that I've just earned just through going through the tutorials and playing the game, and I can spend 91 of those milk on that. And now I've got 2 foods. If I did, let's unlock a cheese, because now I'm going to double cheese the level. Okay, so now I'm going to have to concentrate. Sorry, if I stop talking, it's because I'm concentrating, because a 2 cheese level is funny enough twice as hard as a single cheese level. So I've got my character in position this time. So far in the game I've been using Ultra Janet to protect the cat. This time, because I know that my mice are going to be much more aggressive, I'm going to put her in to try and protect Dr. Papadopoulos. So to Dr. Pap a load more health. I've got some mice that snuck through, but I don't want to move. Okay, I'm in a little bit of trouble. You're probably looking at me going, yeah, but you've got Bomber down the bottom and you're not doing anything. You're right, I'd forgotten about them. Hopefully, there we go. So Bomber will come in and save the day a little bit. Take the cat. Now I've got some of my other guys in. Yeah, I think their strategies kind of worked. So normally, Dr. Pap, who's at the top of the screen, would have already been in quite a lot of trouble. But because I had Doc there helping, it's okay. Now I put Doc back to help the cat whilst these mice come in. So this is, I guess, a lot of people say the game's kind of like a tower defense game, and I guess it is. Think of it as a tower defense game where you can move the towers. I guess it's that. We call it a real-time defense game because that's kind of what you're doing. It's not a real-time strategy because that has a load of connotations for people, and it's not a tower defense. It's real-time defense is what we call it. So I've unlocked another cheese, so I can try another cheese. I think I'll play this level, and that will be me for today. So thank you for anyone who's joined it live or watches it on replay. I hope you found it interesting. So here's another one of my favourite levels, the castle level with cat, and we're in Nightmare. So again, I've been chatting at the beginning, so this time you're probably going to see quite how badly I can do a level, because I was chatting at the beginning, not put any of my characters in good strategic positions, so I'm struggling from the outset. Now fortunately I've been playing this game a lot for the last 6 months, so I'm quite good at it. I'm definitely not the best. Sorry, I'm doing a bad job here because I'm in real trouble. You see what I mean? If your strategy is wrong, like I had no strategy at the beginning of this, the game is pretty punishing. And this is only 2 cheese. We get a lot harder than this if you start triple cheesing levels. I think I might just have pulled it back. I think Dr. Papadopoulos is coming at the last minute and might just save me. Yeah, just did that. Okay, I was in a lot of trouble. Thought I was going to lose the level. If you lose though, you still earn all of the milk that you've done for. So you see, when you win milk, your milk breaks down into 3 categories. So the top one is how many mice that you destroyed. So maximum is 50. But if you don't quite get all the mice and you lose a level, you might earn say 20 or 30 milk. You still get that milk every time you retry the level, so it's a nice way of kind of going through. We don't punish you, you can keep playing. My cat health is the flashing heart, so the higher my cat health is at the end of the level, the more milk I win for that. And then the last one, the little winky cats, are the cats that you saw on the feed the cat screen. So they're your bonus for if your cat's full and you're carrying on playing the game after that, then you can get these extra bonus rewards. And if you do particularly well, we offer you an advert that you can watch, and if you watch the advert in game, you can double the amount of milk you earn. You'll see that so far I've not watched a single one of those adverts, and I'm still earning milk and everything's fine, and I've been playing the game now for over half an hour. So yeah, like I say, we want people to just be able to play, let people play. But I think that's a lot of the game now. I think what I'll do is I'll just go in and here's another level. The windmill level is this pretty one. The level concepts and designs were done. So the level, all of the artwork, all of the animation, everything you physically see in the game has been created by one artist, a guy called Nick Williams. He's phenomenally talented. We worked with him first on Paper Titans, we showed the other day. He did all of the art and animation for Lumo Deliveries, which were that game so beautiful, and he did all the artwork in it. But the actual visual style was a collaboration between Nick and a French art intern we had working with us last year called Romain Granger. Her artwork's phenomenal. She sent us her portfolio saying she wanted to work with our studio, and we were like, we're not really looking for an intern. There's only 5 of us in the studio, and then we looked at her portfolio, and it was so on point for Team Lumo that we didn't even know what she was going to do. We got her in, and we were just starting to work out what Lumo's cat was look like, and she did a bunch of concepts, and we just fell in love with this kind of really free art style that she had. And Nick's done an amazing job of bringing her early concepts to life and implementing it in the game. And it's nice because it's not necessarily a style that we would have come up with on our own. Like the things like the cat blanket and things like that, we wouldn't have just, that wasn't, wouldn't be an idea we would have just come up with. It's come through this kind of collaborative process that's led us on this journey, and we love how the game looks. We'll see what other people think in the world, because our games, I don't think our games often look like games. There's a certain visual language that games have. We tend to draw much more of our reference from contemporary art and pop culture, and I think that shows in the games. So Kumo Lumo was heavily influenced by the sticker bomb movement. I just suddenly remembered that because I looked down, and we've got a bunch of, so where I am at the moment, I mean, we've got a shared workspace where our team, Team Lumo, and 4 other game teams work making games together, and we have this little kind of sofa meeting space. So the poor rest of the rest of the Arch Creatives, which is the space we're in, will have to listen to me waffling on while I'm doing these podcasts. These live streams. But I keep glancing down because just at the side of me here we have a collection of art books that heavily influenced us when we were making some of our games, and like one of them is a sticker bomb book that's got all the stickers in. I was going to see if I could reach it, but it's just too far away for me to reach. But that heavily influenced us with Kumo Lumo. In fact, we reached out to a load of the artists who did some of the artwork for the stickers in the sticker bomb book, and when we launched the game, we did a game art versus street art gallery opening where we had artwork from Kumo Lumo exhibited alongside lots of the artists who we loved and inspired us from the sticker bomb book. It was a great night, and it's nice to draw these references and make games that stand out and appear different rather than just taking references from the same things all the time. I think Keith Stewart did a great piece a little while ago that I remember seeing on Twitter about that, and about how you go around lots of game studios and they have kind of the same sorts of inspiration, and that's not what we're about. Hopefully we make games that people enjoy. People always seem to comment on the visuals, but it's interesting when we show people in the games industry the games we're working on, then they'll often say to us, oh yeah, like the first time I showed a friend of mine this level, he was like, it's really noisy. Are people going to be able to make sense of it? The colours are so bright. And it was the same with Lumo deliveries, people commenting on how bright the colours were, but you show it to people outside of the industry and they love it. And I think that's the problem. We kind of get a little, my friend Ollie Clark often says, the games industry spends a lot of time looking at its own navel and creating lots of things that's self-referencing, and there's a big wide world out there, and it's really nice to take references from those different places, and I think that hopefully shows in our games. I think that's me for today. I think I've talked for long enough on my own. You see the cat just woke up. I always, when Nick first created the animation with the cat waking up, and then Chris Randall, the audio guy, created the sound that comes out of the cat when he wakes up, wasn't sure if it was a bit too alarming, but I think it definitely gets the message across that the cat's woken up. And you see, we don't punish you. So if I choose to change the recipe, the food that I put in before, I can just get back. I can just change the food. So that is kind of important to us, because what we don't want to do is so your early experience of the game, you decide to triple cheese a level because you want to see just how hard it is, and then you lose the level. What we don't want to do is force you into then retrying that triple cheese level forever. You can, and if you're a more core player like we are, that's great. You can keep trying and trying and trying and trying until you succeed. And there are levels that take me 20 or 30 goes to beat when I've triple cheesed them. But if you suddenly go, no, I don't want to do that, you can just change the recipe. We don't punish you. You just go back, take one of the bits of cheese out. or just take all the cheese out and put in some easy food because you're fed up with beating your head against the wall and you want to put in a cool piece of paisley into your blanket. So play it your way, and that's what we want to do. We think the way people play games is changing, and we want to start reflecting those habits and the way people play in our games. That's me done for today. Sorry, I hope it's been interesting. And next week you'll get a break from it being just me, and Jogo will be back from holiday, and he can talk to you about Kumo Lumo. That will be next Tuesday, probably about 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So that'll be Josh and Jogo. That should be a lot of fun. And then next Thursday we'll be back with the game again. If you want to find out more about what's going on with the game, launch dates, other content we've got, see some of the other artwork that sits behind this and some of the early concepts from Roman, you can get to a lot of that on our Twitter account. So we're just Twitter/Team Lumo or @Team Lumo. If you've got questions, things you want to see, just let us know. We're always happy to respond to stuff. If you want to know why we've done things the way we are, or those kind of things. If you're interested in getting early access to the game, we have a new version of the game that's probably going to be the launch version. It'll be out middle of October, and we're always more than happy to share it with people, and you can tell us what you think to it. And thank you very much for joining me, and we will be back online this next Tuesday. So thank you, and see you soon. Bye.